No one saw it coming. Kim Taehyung officially named the main star of the world's most prestigious fashion show 2026. Hello everyone. And welcome back. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. Not because we're chasing numbers. Not because we're racing the algorithm. And not because we want to be the loudest voice in the room. But because there are still stories. Stories that cannot be rushed. Stories that cannot be summarized. Stories that can only be understood if we move slowly. Today, we're going to talk about a moment that did not arrive with an explosion. There was no countdown. No dramatic leak. No instant euphoria. Just one official announcement. One sentence. One name. And the world paused. Kim Taehyung, officially announced as the main star of the world's most prestigious fashion show in 2026. For some, this may sound like just another achievement. But for those who have truly followed this journey, this is a turning point. Not a loud turning point, but a quiet one. Because long before this announcement was made, Kim Taehyung was already there. Not at the center of the stage. Not under the loudest spotlight. But in a space often overlooked. The space between art and silence. Let's take a step back. Back to the way Taehyung first entered the world of global fashion. He didn't arrive with ambition. He didn't arrive with declarations. He arrived as himself. An artist who happened to stand under the camera's light. At every fashion show he attended, Taehyung never tried to be the most noticeable person in the room. And yet, the cameras always found their way to him. Not because he moved the most, but because he barely moved at all. He sat quietly, observed, listened, and in a world that speaks too quickly, that stillness became something rare. Fashion editors began to notice. Not just because of his face, but because of the way he existed in that space. He did not adjust himself to the room. The room slowly adjusted to him. This is what curators often describe as presence without performance, influence without demand, authority without effort. And for years, the fashion world observed in silence. Not in a hurry. Not reactively. Because they knew choosing Kim Taehyung as the center had to mean something. The world's greatest fashion show is not just about clothes. It is about message. About direction. About who deserves to represent an era. And in 2026, they chose silence. They chose someone who never tried to become a symbol, yet inevitably became one. For ARMY, this announcement feels deeply personal. Because we didn't just see the result. We witnessed the details. The way Taehyung speaks about color. About texture. About how a single fabric can carry emotion and memory. He doesn't speak like a model. He speaks like an artist. And the fashion world, so often detached from meaning, finally found a mirror. 2026 is not just a year on a calendar. It is a statement that global influence does not have to be loud, does not have to be aggressive, does not have to dominate the room to be felt. True influence does not arrive with noise. It settles. It lingers. It stays long after the applause fades. Influence can come from sincerity, from consistency, from the quiet courage to remain unchanged. In a world that constantly demands transformation, just to belong. And when Kim Taehyung stands as the main star of the world's greatest fashion show, he does not stand there as a sudden phenomenon. He does not stand there as a trend of the season. He does not stand there because the moment asked for him. He stands there because time prepared him. He carries a story. The story of BTS. Of 7 individuals who did not ask permission to redefine global culture. Who did not dilute themselves to be understood. Who did not rush their art to fit the world's expectations. They shifted boundaries, not by force, but by staying. And within that story, there is another layer. The story of one member who chose a quieter path, who spoke less, but observed more, who moved slower, but left deeper footprints. Kim Taehyung was never the loudest voice in the room, yet somehow, his presence always changed the atmosphere. This is the part that often goes unnoticed. That this achievement was not born from a single viral moment, not from a headline, not from one carefully crafted image. It was built, piece by piece, year by year, through moments that did not trend, through choices that were not celebrated at the time, through patience. In an industry that rewards speed, it is the result of time, of small decisions made repeatedly, of consistency rarely highlighted, of loyalty to oneself, when imitation would have been easier. And perhaps that is why ARMY didn't scream. There was no shock, no disbelief, no feeling of how did this happen? Because this doesn't feel like a sudden victory. It feels like recognition finally arriving. A recognition that has been quietly forming in the background for years. That the world has been watching. That the world has been listening. Even when Taehyung did not speak. Even when he stepped back. Even when he chose silence over spectacle. And here, we reach a quiet conclusion. That Kim Taehyung never chased this stage. He never ran toward it. He never demanded it. He never shaped himself to fit it. Instead, the stage slowly moved toward him, adjusted its lights, widened its space, learned how to wait. The year 2026 will be remembered not just as a fashion milestone, not just as another historic headline, but as the moment when silence finally earned its place at the center, as the moment when restraint was recognized as power, when presence was valued over performance, and when the lights come on, when that first step is taken, when the room falls still, the world will realize one thing: that sometimes the most powerful presence belongs to those who never force themselves to be seen, those who allow time to reveal them. And Kim Taehyung, in his own way, has changed the direction of the spotlight without ever raising his voice.